Let's awesome. All right. All right, guys. This is going to be a pretty basic concept, I think, for most anybody who's already, been using KvCORE. I don't know if any of this will be new information for you, and I don't want to assume that everybody that attends these courses has a lot of experience. Maybe you're aware of KvCORE, just haven't really tapped into a lot of the capabilities, or never had a CRM that you've ever managed in the past. Search alerts is what we're going to be talking about today, and how best to use search alerts in KvCORE to optimize your business, to help expedite your daily tasks, and maybe throw out some things that maybe you haven't thought of on how to use them if you are experienced in using search alerts. I'll just introduce myself real quick. I'm Jason Yeager. I am a realtor here in Southwest Missouri with eXp Realty, and I've been in the business about 6, 7, going on my 7th year now. I've always had a lot of passion for growing myself and helping other agents in the business grow and optimize the best use of their time, and learning some other skill sets in the real estate business that will help you work smarter and not harder, right? As what I love to dig into, AI, has been a tremendous new feature for our business that I think is really going to help us a lot. And it's certainly just the implementation of the CRM years and years ago was something very new for a lot of agents that were operating on a Rolodex or on a whiteboard, or any kind of keeping an Excel spreadsheet, and all these things work very good, but there are a lot of tools at our disposal now that can really help streamline many things. And one of the things that obviously many people in our business, as far as the consumer side, that they're wanting to receive from realtors is listings, right? The invention of Zillow has kind of changed the way that we do business as realtors. So being able to still provide accurate information, and that's really, I think, the biggest benefit on from a buyer's perspective for anybody, not specifically buyers, but mainly buyers, is going to be, they want the data, but the data is no good unless it's accurate, and if it can be sent efficiently, this the data that they want to see, right? The data that they're looking for. So you as a human being can do your best to ask the right questions up front, get what they're after, and then give it to them from the most trusted, reliable resource that you can provide to them as a realtor. And that's really where I believe that we will never be able to be replaced by AI, if you will, or Zillow has done a lot of taking a lot of the market share of people from us, because of the fact that we're giving a lot of the data to the hands of the buyers. So when you think about a pathway of where buyers come in starting their search, right? As a realtor, you think you're wanting to market and find leads. So you have to start putting yourself in their shoes from the very beginning of the pathway to make it your follow-up and lead capture, lead follow-up, and getting the lead conversion. You have to think about that whole pathway when you're considering how to get leads using search alerts, and I think that's probably what the majority of you are probably interested in, is how do I use these to my advantage to be able to convert more leads, to get more leads. So let's talk about that. Let me share my screen here. I created a little fancy schmancy little presentation for you guys because I've got so much time on my hands. Share screen. Okay, here we go. All right. I'm like a real pro presenter now. So this is, we're talking about, again, using search alerts in KvCORE. That is going to be the title of my YouTube video and our topic today. Well, let's dive into it. There I am doing my search alerts. Top uses for search alerts. So let's talk about that. We got obviously to send listings to your buyer leads is probably the main way that we're going to be using search alerts. But also for sellers, you're going to be sending market activity for their neighborhood. You know, they're going to be interested in those listings from a different reason, right? Because they're going to be comparing those homes to the home that they currently live in.
I think a lot of sellers like to know what is going on in the market. That's, I know for us, Jason, that's been a good way to keep our past clients or seller clients or people who are thinking about, even just who have never sold their house. But those people, I think it's a good way to engage them. It's also a great way to get their email. If you're talking to somebody, would you be interested in keeping up with what's going on in your neighborhood? A lot of our clients like to know what's going on in our neighborhood. And so we send them, and it doesn't have to be hot off the market stuff, right then and there. It can be just a monthly search alert for them, I think that's really a great way to use the search alert personally.
Yep. So, that's good. Yep. Then the next use for search alerts could be capturing new leads, and not just engaging the leads that you already have, but that's how you can capture new leads. People that are online. We'll talk about how to do that here in just a little bit. Drive traffic to your website. Most people are visiting your website because they want to see the listings for sale, so that's going to be the main visited pages on your website. And the more Google juice that you can build up by continuing to get people back to those listings, that's the demand for your website. Is the biggest demand is going to be those listings. It will help you start to rank in Google and then be able to visit other pages on your website. You're just creating more brand awareness, local authority in your marketplace, so it's kind of a snowball effect. And learning how to, what's a whole other topic, but optimizing beyond just your listings on the website, but being able to have creative ways to be able to get people back
display them
there watching, from all different avenues. You'll also, you can use search alerts to trigger automatic follow-up. And I'll show you how to do that here in just a little bit as well. And then import into auto drip campaigns. So let's just go from the beginning here. Sending listings to buyers, right? So that's the main way. If you've got a lead in your CRM already, which I created this little tester here for purposes of being able to kind of showcase what, if you're just now getting into KvCORE and wanting to learn the basics, here's the basics. Okay, so they put in a new lead, and then you've got, this is their profile for this lead right here, right? And then over here on the top right, you've got all these different things that you can do with this lead. And then down here, you got active campaigns that you can put them on, market reports. The search alerts is going to be right here. Why are they unsubscribed? I did not. Oh, let me think of what I got to do is because it's a manual deal. I got to subscribe them to
Subscribe to
emails.
emails. There you go.
Okay. So
There you
now I
go.
can send them search alerts because if you manually import a lead like I did with this fake lead here, then you have to go in and tell KvCORE that it is okay for me to send them emails. Otherwise, if they've come into your system and registered online, they will have given permission for you to send emails just from opting in. So just so you know, if you're going to manually import a lot of your contacts, you will have to do that extra step each time. Okay.
Perfect.
So on the search alerts is right here. You're going to add a search alert when you have a lead come in manually if they don't already have search alerts set. So we'll just hit add right there. And now I want to show you guys, if you've been using KvCORE for a while, this is going to look a little different. There's been some changes this last month here that they've updated the search alerts, and I want you to be aware of this. So this is right here where you can add a search alert, right? You used to only have a limit of 2 search alerts per lead. And that was it. That's all you could create. Now they've given you the ability to do up to 5 different search alerts. If you've got
Awesome.
a lead that is looking for, in one particular
Different
area,
Yeah.
you don't want to lump them all together. If you're looking for this type of property, but only in this area, you probably want to search for that. If they're also considering building and they're looking for land in that area and another area, then you could have one search for just that area and another search for land in the other area. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're not really dead set on where they want to be, but also here, think about this. If they're buying and they're selling, so then you'd want to have a search alert for where they're looking to buy into. And then you'd probably want your second search alert for the neighborhood that they currently live in. If both of those are in your, MLS, obviously.
Right.
So now
So that's a
they've
good
given you,
improvement. That's good.
yeah. Now they've given you the ability to actually make a search alert title. You can title your search, where before, if you created a search, it would just kind of give you the county, one of the counties. Like I search a lot of multiple counties oftentimes when I give them a broad search from the beginning, but it only shows like the one county, and so you're not really sure if it was right. It just looked funky on the front end of it, because like right here when oh darn it, now I'm gonna have to edit that out. I was trying to avoid using all of my contacts in there. It's all right, we can edit that out later. So YouTube has lovingly decided to delete videos that show, and I get it, people's personal information, which was making it very difficult after the fact, after we do these training videos, to have to go in and edit the video to
Blur them out. Yeah, but
blur
that's
them
okay.
all out. Yeah. So I'm trying to keep windows active that I know aren't going to mess things up. So anyway, in the search alerts down here, once you create one, it will have kind of a brief description of what that search alert is. And if you have multiple, it'll hopefully be able to give you a snapshot. And also on the general overview of your dash or your contact list, you'll also see kind of what they're been looking at. Also, KvCORE, just so you know, will create a search alert for you based on what they've been looking at. If you put something on Facebook and you're advertising a listing, or either one property or a whole list of properties, once they visit the website and they click it and they start clicking around, KvCORE, after a certain length of time, not right away, but after a certain length of time, will start gauging what their average price point is and the area that they're looking in, and it will automatically start sending them listings by itself without you doing anything. So just so you know, but then once you've called and engaged that lead, you're going to want to dial that in based on the conversation that you have with them. And so then you can go in and do that again here. So we're going to just do like, pretend like, let's say, I don't know, new construction in Springfield. I just use SGF for like a little.
And this is also, is that also the subject line or no? This is
No,
different.
this, the next deal
Just a
here, down here, the
descriptor.
next deal is,
Okay,
you have a dynamic subject line, or you can customize the subject line. And down here in the asterisk for dynamic subject line, it says asterisk right here.
yeah,
That
it
says subject
automatically.
lines or
Mhm.
subject lines that are generated based off of the top search results. So
I
it's,
see.
instead of it just giving a random subject line based on the search results, you can tell it what you want it. So like a lot of times in my own MLS, I will do this when I set up search alerts inside my MLS. I'll say new.
Especially, I think this is important if you have more than one search alert, so they know what they're
Right.
getting.
Yeah.
You know, when
You know,
it hits their inbox.
these are the
it's
new
gonna say
listings for this search that we
Right.
talked about. And these are the new
condos in
listings.
Stone County or whatever, or from Jason Yeager. I like using, you know, I like kind of putting the name in there, but
Yeah, I mean, it'll show who it's from, you know, when they get the email, it'll tell it who it's from. But yeah, I mean, new construction listings today. And that'll be the title every time they get that email that fits these criteria. That's the subject line, you know. And then you tell
you
it,
could get really cute with that too. You could say, I found another one for you, or something like that. Here's another listing I found, or something, that
yeah, just know that that's
you can be as
what's
creative
gonna go out every time
every
that
single
it
time.
hits. If you've got it sent as soon as possible, and somebody just lists, the whole county of
Subdivision, yeah.
listing agents, hits a bunch of stuff all throughout the day. Whenever they hit, they're going to get that same email with the same subject line. So
Yep.
yeah, the frequency you'll set here however you want to do that, as soon as
Perfect.
possible, daily, twice a week, once a week, twice a month, or monthly.
As soon as possible if they're a hot buyer, right? That's what you want that to
Yeah.
hit as
Ask
fast as
them,
possible.
how often, once you have that conversation, how often would you like me to send these out? I mean, if they're not going to be buying right away, then maybe once a week,
Yeah.
would be perfectly fine. So then, and then if they've got on the search alerts, if they've got a husband, wife, somebody else that needs to be CC'd on that, you can send that to them. Also, I sometimes will put myself in there if it's somebody that I really need to be on my A game on being on top of something, especially in a hot moving market when things are moving fast. You need to be able to get out there and see it as soon as possible. So copying yourself in there might be good. Then you can touch base with them and text the lead and say, hey, as soon as you
Did
get
you
the
see
email,
this?
if they're
Yeah.
busy, you might be able to say, hey, did you see that one that just hit?
Yeah.
Giving you a reason to be able to trigger you throughout the day to be like, oh, something that they might be interested in that I could, be able to get them out and get an offer in as soon as possible. Make sure they see it, and then here in the area, you're gonna just select whatever we said, Springfield, new construction. So I'm gonna do Springfield. And then mine, I don't know about y'all's, but mine really has to think when I start typing in an area, just be patient. It does take 3 to 5 seconds, I feel like most times, to suggest, and then you have to click on the suggested thing that you're looking for before you can't just start typing it in, even though you've typed the whole thing in and then hit enter, it won't work. You have to select from their drop down list. So very important.
Click on it. Yeah.
Then, or you can customize and draw on the map where you want these particular listings to show up, if it's, outside city limits, or they're considering, just another area. If it's easier, if it's at the corner of a county line, you're including multiple counties, but they're trying to stay within this area south of this highway or something, you can
Mm.
draw it in and be very niche there. And then
Accurate.
you can
Yeah,
get
that's
in,
a great tool. I don't think everybody realizes that this is, I mean, not every CRM has this with their search,
yeah,
not every CRM, I mean, KvCORE has this as part of their search. And that polygon map search is really a big deal.
yeah. You want to be like, oh, I need to make sure I get those houses. If you know this area, this is your backyard, right? And you'll be like, okay, and I want to make sure I get everything right here south of 60, and then double click when you're done, and it'll connect all the dots together. And then there's your little application, and then you
Mhm.
apply app selection there instead. Okay, so we'll clear that out for now, but I just wanted to show you that as the
Right.
other cool feature, and we'll use that later on here in a little bit too, to kind of show you.
Okay.
So then the listing types, if they're interested in single family, you don't, if they're not interested in commercial, then you could select everything else but commercial. Or if they're considering a large house, or a house on a large piece of property around here in our rural area, that could be listed under single family house on 35 acres, but it might also be listed under farm. So you don't want to exclude something that might be exclusively listed under farm that's not listed under single family, because the agent wasn't savvy enough to list them in both areas.
Yeah.
You might miss one. So think about these things whenever you're going through. They used to have manufactured and modulars are going to show up under single family and KvCORE, just so you know. Okay, if you're somebody that's operating with a lot of apartment buildings, multifamily units, they've got multifamily here, land and condos. If they're interested in just condos, and just do that, and then exit out the rest. Okay, but for the sake of this, we're single family homes, new construction, right, is what you're wanting to send out. So then it doesn't really matter here. Now, I will say for me, newly built does not work in in my MLS. When I click newly built, I thought, oh, easy, just click newly built and I'll get all the new construction listings. But until they fix whatever's going on with our MLS, it's just not talking to KvCORE in the right way. It's showing up no listings in the counties that I want to start trying to.
Newly built does not compute
Yeah.
with them, but that's okay. It doesn't, they'll
Yeah.
fix it.
So
Yeah.
the workaround here is that you just find the current year that, or if somebody's like newer, I want to see anything that is new-ish, right? They built in the last year that's like barely built. So, and you can just go here and you can just take this and say
2021 or
2023,
2022 or whatever.
2022, whatever minimum year, right? And then just use that. And then if there's other criteria, garages or something, that they definitely say it has to have a 3-car garage, then you can put that in there and get specific. If there's other things that aren't on the property amenities, financial options, or structural options here, then you want to go in here and add the keyword. If somebody's looking for vacation rental, you could just hit vacation, wait for it to suggest, select vacation rental, and then over here is going to give you the drop down of yes or no. Okay. I don't remember if basement was something that was on the default. I don't think it is.
Yeah, it is render structural options.
Oh yeah, right there. So you could use that.
I think that's new, actually.
So I was wondering if they had like basement, you could get specific with
Or
basement.
walkout.
Basement type.
Yeah,
You can go here,
walkout.
apartment,
Yeah,
bath,
whatever.
block.
Mhm.
Oh, this is just the okay, partially finished.
Mhm, mhm.
Some
Walkout.
unfurnished walkout access basements. So then you can
Yeah,
immediately
that's a big deal
eliminate.
around here. It may not be for everybody
Yeah,
watching,
just
but
think through
that's a
this, some of
big
the
deal
things that
around here.
yeah. Right now, you're just trying to create a search alert based on, a hypothetical conversation that you had with a new buyer. I'm just using this as a deal. So you just punch it all in, and then you hit set alert. You could also just, if you want to go ahead and send it to them from here, you just hit save and send. Okay.
And that's awesome. Yeah.
So there you go. And then it's got that there for you. And here's 59 search results. You can delete the search from here. You can turn off this particular search right here at this toggle switch. You can email the whole list if we hadn't had just told it we wanted to send it to them, but you could email this whole list to them right from here. You could also text it to that lead right from here, or you can just
Nice.
copy the link and do it and
And
put
do
this
whatever
list
we
of
want.
homes in an email if you wanted to and send it in a more customized email if you wanted to. Okay. I see people on Facebook that are looking for, does anybody know of any waterfront homes around, it's like, that's your opportunity to go and get that lead. Go and find and give them this link, to ask what they're looking for, and send it to them. Post that, copy that link, and then post it as a comment in there, and tell them, hey, I found you, 3 of them that you're fit exactly what you're looking for. Boom, So that's what I was saying.
And those links now, Jason, will that link stay updated all the time? Or will it just always show this particular result?
I don't. I think it'll probably just this result. Now, if you're on the front end, I mean, I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, go
There's
ahead.
another way you could do it on the front end. If you're creating a search on the front end, then you can just use the URL from the search
Right,
results,
right.
and then that will be an ever living. I know for a fact that that will constantly be
Always
updated with
update.
new
Yeah,
ones.
right.
Mhm.
Anyway, okay.
But then if you wanted to add some others, just click add and then start the whole thing over here. And you can do that up to, like I said, 5 times per lead. All right.
That is a great update. I'm so glad they've added that. So
Yeah. All right. So
one
um,
down.
now we're going to move on to how else you can use this in your business. Market activity for sellers. So this keep prospective sellers up to date on the market by setting up search alerts for their neighborhood. So pretty similar. You're just kind of doing it from a different deal here. If this was a seller instead of a buyer, then you just go in and you have to know that neighborhood, right?
Subdivision or area, even
Yeah,
sometimes
if
if
it's
it's
not
not a
enough
subdivision.
rooftops to be considered a comp, whatever you would consider when you're searching for comparables,
Mhm.
if you've got enough
That's the
local.
same criteria that we would use.
Yeah, if they're a one-off a home that's not like anything that's immediately around them, then you probably could get away with doing it by the city, you know, county, and then
The
just get
zip
real specific
code,
with the
whatever.
types of homes.
Yes.
But if they just want to, you just want to be able to see everything that is listing around them in their immediate area, then just do the neighborhood, and you could do that a couple of different ways. Okay, so when you're adding a new search alert,
Yep.
say comps new, or say
And
comps
this is
for
seen or
whatever
not
the
seen
lead
by the
is.
client.
This is what I would name it. This is just something that you're gonna see
Okay.
on your side,
Okay.
comp sport tester here. And then on the subject line of this, I would probably put like new market activity in your neighborhood.
Again, this is a seller. Gotcha. Okay. And
I'm
we
gonna do
want to
this as
set as
soon as
soon as
possible.
possible,
Yep.
or
And you
really?
might want to CC yourself. If you're the listing agent for this seller, then you want to be able to CC yourself. If you're just prospecting, a seller you've been calling an expired and you're, trying to
Okay, yeah. So
tell
this
him, I
is a
want to keep you
seller.
updated on
Okay.
what's happening in the market, just for a good follow-up, then you can CC yourself and then again trigger that conversation to follow up with them and say, hey, just how are you doing? Oh, before I get off the phone with you, did you see that other one on 123 Banana Street that just came on the market the other day?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, we do Monday calls to all of our sellers, right? For showings from, whatever the prior week and all that.
Mhm.
But this would also be another good talking point. If you didn't have any showing activity, you could also say, hey, did you see this other condo that came on the market in Lantern Bay this weekend or whatever, because, it gives you something to talk to them about.
Yep. Yep. If you're circle prospecting, people, you can go in and create one of these for yourself to give yourself an idea of anything, certainly anything that you've sold in the area for sure. But if you don't have something in particular that you've personally sold, but you could maybe your office has sold, then you could also go in and create a search right in there and find something in that area just like that, and get very specific and be like, oh, hey, we just sold this one in your neighborhood, just some other ideas of how to use those
Right.
search alerts here.
For
But
sellers.
you can
Okay.
go in and you either can now, besides just city and county and zip code, you could also go in and type in like a subdivision if it's a subdivision that's been included, pushed over from your MLS. Now, there are thousands and thousands of subdivisions, so not every single neighborhood is going to be included in there. But if it's one that is sought after, or is you and definitely one that you want to farm, a bunch, all you have to do is call KvCORE, or get in touch with
Message
KvCORE
them.
support, and
Mhm.
they will get in touch with your local MLS, your regional MLS, and see about adding things that are not already included by default in your KvCORE. So just know that you're not stuck with it, okay? But just know that there are lots of neighborhoods. You can start typing it in, let it suggest, and then see if it comes up, there. And then that will cover the entire neighborhood for you already, as long as the listing agent
Listing agent.
remember to put it in correctly. Now, if you want to make
Mhm.
sure it doesn't fall through the cracks, and you just know that as long as they've at least put in the
That's what it
geocode
looks like.
locator for a
Yeah.
particular subdivision, then you could go in like we did earlier, find the subdivision that you are going to list. So here's Quail Creek. It's this whole this little grid right here, and your seller lives in Quail Creek. So then just go in, you can get real close so you can make sure you get it all, and then just draw that little area, make a little rectangle, right?
Got it.
Boom. Okay. Then you'll only see things in that area. So no matter what they listed the subdivision at, it's hopefully will show up inside that little polygon. Okay. So yeah, we've covered that. Now, what else? I'm going to show you. Capturing new leads.
Yeah, that's great.
Offer a niche list of properties on your social platforms, email, newsletters, blog,
See all the homes in.
neighborhood pages. And I
Yeah.
will say also, like in your videos, whether your social platforms could be Facebook, but if you're somebody who does like neighborhood walkthroughs on YouTube or TikTok, Instagram, if you're big into video and you're showing people what these neighborhoods look like, then a great way to do a call to action is be like, if you want to see a list of all the current homes that are for sale right now, click the link below, and
Mhm.
then you go and create this search alert, right? And then it maybe you probably tie it back to like a landing page first, and then once you get the landing page created,
Right.
then
Then
they
you
get the
enroll
search
all
alerts,
those
right?
people. Yeah.
Yeah, then they become a lead. But just know that you can put these links for these search alerts anywhere. And then, if they're landing on your page looking at homes, then you can tell it if you want them to look at 1, 2, 10 properties before it asks for their information, or you can lock it up right up front. You're not going to be able to look at this until you register as a lead. It's however you
Right.
want to run that game. Okay. So neighborhood
So give us
pages.
some examples of some of these different ways that you've used this for, you know, capturing these leads.
Yeah. Well, like I'm gonna go to my Facebook, but I'll probably do the same
Oh,
deal
you'll
where,
be in trouble.
yeah.
But I was just thinking, yeah, let's don't get in trouble.
Like a
But
lot of, I could just kind of talk you through it.
yeah,
So I've
just
done
think
like
about,
something where I was like, just find something that's highly engaging, like what do people like really like to look at online. They like to look at beautiful, expensive, lavish kitchens, big luxury homes. I did this one a long time ago, like the top 10 most expensive homes in our area, and I
yeah,
titled
I
the
think a
post.
popular one would be lakefront property,
Yeah.
see every lakefront, lake house,
Yeah.
whatever. Those are very popular things if
Yeah, just
somebody,
something that is engaging, that to the general market of people, that is highly engaging, and
Mhm.
also certainly deals. We talked about this on our last training, was
Yeah,
it was the everybody buyer wants a deal. So if the type, you think about that pathway of what type of person do I want to work with?
attract,
Who do
right.
I want to attract? Who is my avatar client, and what are they interested in, and go and find those list of homes like that, and then post it on social with an offer, to them. And it could be totally, like I say, you can totally leave it completely unlocked
Yeah.
up, un
I went the
unlocked.
opposite direction. I know a lot of people, and I've done get a list of homes that are, been on the market a long time, whatever you want to say, affordable homes under
Mhm.
250,000, whatever. I've tried that. I've done it and it works great to get a ton of people. But then I decided, like you said, let's find my ideal client. So one of my most popular search things that I created and a landing page for was gated homes,
Yeah.
homes on golf, golf property homes,
Yep.
popular DFW golf homes, whatever. And you have to kind of sort of be careful that what you're saying, but and one of my most popular ones that I had the most people opt in for were homes with a pool under $300,000. Homes in Texas, that's a big deal. Everybody, almost not everybody, but a lot of people in our area had pools,
Right.
and they wanted that was a huge feature. So homes with a pool, especially in the summer, everybody wants a pool right now. So that was kind of a big deal. And I had a lot of people that opted in. And I will say we had a great success at the level of interest, but also even the people who were just browsing, you don't care. Try not to gatekeep too much on that side, because those people are going to be a part of the pipeline and eventually come on through.
Yeah. If it's your listing that you're trying to promote, then they're going to come in to your sphere interested in the one property that you've advertised for sale, right? The chances of them actually buying that property are very low. So the what you want to try to do is hold the bait out, thinking like a fish,
But have the right
you
expectation.
hold the bait out, you get them to bite on the bait, right? But then you're going to want to try to send them other properties like that one. And this is where we'll get into the next one here is trigger auto follow-up with hashtags.
Okay,
Think about your lead path, create hashtags that you'll remember and save yourself tons of time. So there's a couple of different ways that hashtags can be used in KvCORE.
perfect.
We're going to go in here and we're going to create a search alert. So under marketing, you're going to go to all marketing right here. And this is where we're at currently. And then you have search alerts right here. Okay. Down here, you're going to create an alert. And then you're going to say, if you want to do, I got a listing that has got, it's 10 bedroom lake, lake front, right? So I would call it lake front as the key, the hashtag that I will remember, right? Every person, when I'm advertising this property online, they've opted in, they're not interested in making an offer on that one. So then I'm going to send them other properties like that one that they might be interested in. So
Got it.
when they come in, you can use this as two different purposes for creating this hashtag here. So you can either have just lakefront, or you can do the address, let's say 370 lakefront. If you're somebody who has multiple listings on the same block or have, over time, then you probably want to get a little more specific for that hashtag. But
Let's just clarify, lakefront is the actual road. It is not a description of the property as lakefront, correct?
right. Just using this, I'm just trying to create a
Okay,
hypothetical example in my head
got it.
that we can run with. The search alert title would be, vacation rental lodges, that'll be like this one that they've opted in at, right?
Got it.
And then be like new vacation rental lodge opportunities. That'll be the subject line that goes out every time one of these hits the market, right?
Okay.
But
And
Branson,
we can use these, once you created a search alert for all of for whoever, I can also then use the same search alert, correct? Like I've created one for, even though it might be for this one person, now that search alert exists in my KvCORE and I can reuse it, correct?
well, then we're just gonna create a hashtag. It's only saving this to the hashtag.
Okay,
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to access it anywhere else. It's just telling it, we want to create this search and we want it to be assigned to this hashtag.
I see. Okay,
Now you can use that hashtag in multiple different areas for multiple different purposes. I'll go into that in
right.
just a second here. So any keywords that you wanted to be specific on, really, I put the area, the subject line, and the area that I want this to be involved in. So you make that as small or as big as you want. The listing type would probably be single family and condos, because they're kind of listed under both oftentimes here. This is a 10 bedroom, so I probably want to send them something that's like 7 bedroom and up. Maybe they'd be interested in a 7 bedroom if they weren't interested in this 10 bedroom, right? And then the baths, again, yeah, the same thing, like maybe 5 bath minimum. Trying to find something that's decently comparable to the listing that they were originally coming in on. And then the price range. well, this one was like 1.5 million. So I'd probably say something that's $1 million minimum. I don't want anything that's, well, there's not going to be any 7 bedrooms under $1 million, but in my market, but still, if there was, then you tell it how often do you want to send these, as soon as possible. And then there's this new construction. So I could put 2020 was probably, I think, the minimum year that this subdivision went in. So yeah, just newer vacation rental lodges that are over $1 million, that are at least 7 bedrooms and 5 baths, that will give them a pretty good idea of some other similar properties that would hit the market now or later in the future, right? So
Got
then
it.
now you've got that saved.
Hashtag.
Every time that hashtag 370 lakefront is put into KvCORE, that search alert will be tied directly to it. And so now you have 2 options. You've created the search alert. You're either going to manually put that in every time a new lead comes in, that if you're advertising this listing for sale, and that, again, it doesn't have to be your listing. It could be a listing in your office, or you could ask permission of the listing agent to advertise their listing. But you can use other people's listings if you can get permission to get the same type of buyer lead to call you.
Right.
So you get something that is going to have great pictures and shows well online. It's going to be highly engaging, a lot of clicks and stuff. Use that. Get them back to your website, right? You can either go to a landing page to capture that lead, or whenever they become a lead into your system, then you want to probably have a campaign set up, an auto campaign set up that is triggered by this same hashtag. So when the lead comes in, you're going to tell the campaign to assign hashtag 370 lakefront. So every time that lead comes in, it automatically gets that hashtag assigned to it. Then it automatically gets that search set up for it. And then half the work that you're doing is done. When you start getting good at being able to get a lot of leads coming in, it's going to serve you best to create a campaign that automatically adds this same hashtag to it. Because I will tell you from
But a
experience,
campaign, let me ask you, is a campaign is separate from the search alert?
right? Every lead that comes in is interested in that property, or they might be interested in another property. So you're going to follow up with them by sending them properties that are like the one that they looked at. But then you're also going to have other parts of that campaign that are going to be reminders to yourself to pick up the phone and call them, or auto texts that go out, or emails that go out to them.
But I'm just saying, for overall principle here, there's a campaign that reminds you and automatically sends an email to them, or reminds you to call, or whatever.
Your emails and texts can very oftentimes go ignored, or they're missed, or if they put in a bogus phone number. The only way, as long as they've given you a good email and you've validated that you've got a good email, then one of the most your open rate more often than not is going to be on these search alerts, and not your newsletter or any other auto drip campaign. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but this is what people are mostly after, the listings. This is going to be the most highly engaged interest in why they come in the first place, is to look at the listing. So use it to your advantage. And so that whenever I was going back to, if you don't have a search alert like this set up, then what happens is then you're going to have to go in every time a lead comes in.
No, thank you.
And create that search alert manually every single time. Eventually, whether it's you're going to be Johnny on the spot and do it right away as soon as they come in, so that it's at least there and done, you can do that. And then but you could have the you could have this set up, right? The hashtag, but if you don't have the campaign in the background
Find it.
set up to assign it when that give it that hashtag, then the search alert's ready to go, but the hashtag still has to be implemented. So you either implement it automatically with the campaign, or you manually have to add, you have to go into the lead and update the hashtag and add that hashtag 370 lakefront or whatever it is. And then your search alerts will start kicking in manually. It's whatever you want to do. It's fine when you have 3 to 5 leads that come in over the course of 30 days. That's not a big deal, you know. It's whenever you get something that's coming in and you're getting 20 leads every day, you know, at the most, hard times to be able to, you got other things that you're doing, you're going to forget, you know. And then if you're good, disciplined at getting in there every single morning and looking at all the new leads that came in, then you can go through and find all of your new leads in your pipeline, and then be able to just go in and you can do that as a, oh, I did it again. Yep.
You did it again.
Yep, you sure did.
I knew you were going there. I knew you were fixing to do it. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Well, it's all right.
We'll
I can
edit that
edit
out.
that out
Well-
pretty quickly, but just know that there are mass actions that you can do to be able to quickly add a hashtag to all of these new filtered leads that you've, got. You have to filter out find all those new leads that you want to add that hashtag. Think about something where, oh, I've got a ton of leads that would be probably great to add this type of search to. If you've been farming a certain specific type of lead
Yeah.
and they're already in your system and you want to be able to quickly go and do that, create the search alert first, create a hashtag that you'll remember, and then go in and click on filter them out,
Every
find
one
every
of
single one of
those.
those leads, and then
Yeah.
add that hashtag to them. And then boom, you've got every single one of them on a search alert, rather than having to go through each one individually manually and adding them in. So
I think that's a great idea, especially add that to part of your lead generation time would be to go in and at least identify, even if you don't, try not to think of it as a huge task of doing it all at one time. But if you create the search alert, create the campaign, get all that done first, and then go in and maybe just give yourself the task of finding 5 to 10 people to do it at one time,
Yeah.
and then just make that a part of your daily to go in and look for who doesn't have
Yeah, you can go
thing
in
going
and to
on
your
and
contact
identify.
list and then filter out who is not on a search alert.
Right.
And
Now I know
and
the
you-
people, and then
yeah.
every day when I come back, that list should be 50 and then go to 40, and then it should go to 30, and then eventually you'll have everybody, hopefully.
Yeah,
on
if
something.
you're serving, I serve Southwest Missouri, whatever market that you're in and whatever you're serving, just go put a general search alert for every single person who doesn't have a search alert. The idea is not to give everybody exactly what you think that they want. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want a reason for them to call you, text you, or email you and say, hey, I need you to
Change the price point on
change the
that.
price point, or we're not looking in this area. Great. Where are you looking? You know what I'm saying? Like, give them a reason to pick up the phone and contact you. So real quick ways, if you've got 300, 3,000 leads and 75% of them don't have any search alerts, go and isolate all of the ones right now in your database that don't have a search alert set up, and just put a very generic search alert set up for them, create the hashtag for it,
Mhm.
and then just assign that hashtag to every single one of those leads. That's definitely something that every new lead should have a search alert, a market report, and some kind of an auto campaign set up, so that you're touching these people in multiple different ways. But you will find when you go into your dashboard and you're looking at the open rates, that most of the time they're clicking on the emails is the ones that have the new listings that are coming in. I want to show you real quick.
Any
on
questions from anybody there in the?
There's a chat.
I think that was just an AI chat thing.
okay.
And yep. And
What
I've been
about
watching in
market?
workplace. I've been watching in workplace. I don't see anything yet, but we only have about 3 or 4 minutes left
Okay.
at that. So
Awesome. I want to show you guys just real quick. I'm talking about campaigns and how to set those up. So real quick, in your marketing tab here, you can go to smart campaigns. Okay. Here's all your smart campaigns. When you look, it says starts when. These are all of the campaigns that I have, right? They start when. A lot of them are triggered by a hashtag. When the hashtag is just browsing, when the hashtag is buyer. I have one down here. I had one for
expired,
um,
for sale by owner, closed buyer.
yeah. Oh, this one right here. Hashtag is PB 1200 North Cole.
Pep.
This was one when you do property boost campaigns, it's going to give you this hashtag
It automatically
PB
applies
and then the
one.
address, right? So you could create the hashtag. You could go in it or create the search alert. Excuse me. You can go and create a search alert for the same hashtag that your property boost campaign is already going to assign this hashtag
Good
to it.
idea.
So
Mhm.
then you can, every time one of those comes in, boom, they've got that search alert assigned to it, So just you think about that path of when I'm doing this, they're already going to have um, the property boost. You can tell it what type of campaign you want it to be on, whether you
Yeah.
create one or you implement, uh, take one that's already been provided and customize it or whatever. I've got one here for same thing in a Hillcrest Drive, property boost hashtag was Hillcrest Drive. It's a different type of property, so go in one for Lantern Bay and Stone County buyers. I had one here for um doing a deal for the foreclosures was one that we did also, so just whenever you go in and create a new one, I'll kind of show you what that looks like real quick. These are the ones that I've already created, but here, add campaign. Okay. And then when you go through, it says start the campaign when if you want to do it where the hashtag is implemented, that's what triggers it, right? Then you'd say hashtag is 370 lakefront. That's the one that we used for our other example, right?
And we just want to be sure we're using the same exact
Something that you're going
hashtag.
to remember. Yeah. You could take a campaign. I'm going to exit out of this one. You can take a campaign that KvCORE library here. You could take one of these. Sorry, let me go back to my campaign. Just a buyer 1-year nurture campaign. It's pretty standard
Basic.
campaign, right?
Mhm.
All the other activities on this campaign are probably going to be fine for a buyer campaign, but maybe at the beginning you want it to just have a few other extra steps that you want it to be specific for this type of follow-up on this buyer, but you're okay with it having everything else in here, right? So you can clone the campaign and then it's going to give you the campaign. You're going to say you'll still have this one in here. You're just going to make a carbon copy of this other campaign. And then you can go through and say, okay, well, I want it to be, instead of this hashtag trigger, I want it to be my 370 lakefront trigger. That way you're not having to reinvent the entire campaign. Use a campaign that's already in there that's got 98% of everything else that you
Right.
want in there, and then just go in and edit the first few steps for your initial follow-up, because they could have a text that goes out to the lead that is specific to the property that you're advertising. If that's one property that
It
you're, or a
makes it so much
list of
faster.
homes, yeah,
That's
then you just
awesome.
change those first couple of steps in there, and then you've got the rest of it already ready to go. But I would always make sure you click always run, so in case you've got them on a some other touch campaign for yourself, running, that you can still run, this long-term campaign with them as well. So just
Perfect.
wanted to show you that it doesn't have to be a big daunting thing when you're talking about
A
making
campaign.
an auto campaign. There's a ton of them that are already in KvCORE ready to go. You can literally just clone it there, give it a new hashtag, and then go in, and then you'll have to, just know that when you are implementing these steps here, these are all different templates that have already been created. There's lots of emails that are going out. Day 1 is an email, day 7 is an email. If you want to create another action to this campaign, you'd already have to have it created in the templates here. If it's an email template or a text message that you wanted to go out, you'll need to create that first in templates and then add those templates to your campaign. Just a side note when you're building those out.
Yeah.
And I think I pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover. Yeah,
Ta-da.
import into auto drip campaign. See how I did my drip?
Perfect.
Aren't you proud of me? I did this little deal that, yeah, I built this all myself so I could look professional. Let me know in the comments down below if you feel like I'm more professional today than I was last week based on
OMG.
this slideshow that I've created for you lovely people. I hope that you did get some, hope you learned something about all of that. If there's something else that we didn't cover today or another topic that you guys are really interested in having me cover at a later date, we do these videos the first Tuesday of every month, and we're starting to stream these live in my workplace. So you can obviously message me, email me at jason@greatbransonhomes. I will send you the Zoom link, or Lisa maybe can figure out, this is where
Yep.
I'm good at, is the best way to get on the calendar, get this on the calendar so that you don't, you're reminded of when these are, but it's the first Tuesday of every month. And so we'll figure out the best way to get that out to anybody, but you can leave a comment in workplace or leave a comment here in our YouTube channel down below on this video, and we'll make sure that we get that out to you so that you can be a part of our live sessions. But just know that if you miss them, they're going to be in workplace and they're going to be on my YouTube channel as well. All right. I think that was about it. Anybody have any questions at all?
Don't think we have anything in workplace. I was watching the chat here and I don't see anything, but lots of good information.
Good. Well, I
Good.
appreciate y'all attending today, and I will see you next month, in November. It's been a full, next month will
Happy
be our
October.
full year I've been doing that. All right, have a great
Awesome.
rest of the day, you guys. See ya.